post-race media availability. We're now joined by Denny Hamlin, driver of the number 11 FedEx Freight Toyota, who will start the race in third position on Sunday. Denny, you finished fifth here in the spring race at Dover International Speedway. Talk a little bit about your qualifying run and your thoughts on Sunday's race.
Obviously excited to get the weekend off started on a good foot and just putting ourselves in a good position to start the race, and obviously with a good pit stall as well will give us a good advantage for Sunday, and we just hope to kind of build some momentum and obviously have a strong run this weekend. It would be very timely.
All right, we'll open it up for questions, and we'll start up front here with Reed. Then we'll go to Bob.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. Denny, what does this do for your confidence level going into Sunday?
Well, it hasn't changed much. I mean, other than, where the guys are around me, I expected to come here and contend for a pole and really contend for a win this weekend. So, no matter what happened last weekend, it didn't affect my mindset as far as what my expectations were when I got to this racetrack. There's just a little bit more pressure to perform well this weekend. So we hope that, things fall our way.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Bob. Go ahead.
Bob Hocker, Sporting News. Will you want to kind of know where you're at amongst all the guys in the chase bubble throughout the race? How much do you expect to be paying attention to it? Or because there seems to be 9 guys going for 4 spots, is it pretty much, or 5 spots, is it pretty much you can't really worry about anybody else?
Yeah, I mean, short of just winning the race, it matters what other guys do. For us, we don't control our own destiny unless we win. So, I really don't want to know. Honestly, I'm just going to, this will be the hardest race that I'll definitely ever drive for 400 miles. I'm just going to, be as aggressive as I can, not put myself in a bad position. But, this is the most important race of my career because it's the most significant of my career at this point. So, we got to get the job done, and I'm going to do my part to try to make sure we're successful. Well, because the biggest thing is that's over with. So looking, now this is the most important race of my career because it's in the present. If we're going to live to race another day, we've got to get past this weekend with a shot to win the title. If not, you become somewhat irrelevant.
Any additional questions for Dan? Okay, we'll take one from Jeff, then we'll come back up to Dustin.
Jeff Gluck from USA Today. I was going to ask about the comment about it being the most important of your career. Also, with that being said, how do you think? You said you're going to drive as aggressively as you can, obviously without trying to go over the limit. But how do you think that pressure will change things? I mean, how do you not let that affect you in the car and have a mistake or something along those lines?
Well, I feel like I'm pretty decent as far as, realizing where that line is between being aggressive and being smart. But, the number one priority as soon as we start the race is to go lead a lap. Try to get that 1 point that will be, that could be crucial in the end, especially with all those guys tied in a knot in points like that. If we can lead early, I'd feel a lot better. We can take the pressure off as far as trying to do it on pit road, or things like that, and then having to try to make up a spot later in the race. So that 1 point is the first thing to cross off my list once we get this race started. After that, really, I can't scoreboard watch because I'm not going to be able to control what the other guys do, even though my fate is not all the way in my hands if I don't win. I can't be concerned and let what they do affect me at all. I believe if I run top 5, I'll put myself in. If I don't, I won't. So I think that a lot of things happen, and a lot of people that had bad luck last week is going to have a rebound week. We just hope to be on the better side of all those guys when it unfolds. But we've at one point we're all going to face elimination sometime in our life, and it's how we respond to that adversity that is going to define us.
Okay, we'll take Dustin, then we'll go back to Jim.
Dustin Long, MRN.com. Denny, the last couple times at this track, couple cup races, you've had speeding penalties. You had one early in June. It was early enough in the race you were able to bounce back, finish 5th. September a year ago, you couldn't. Are those just coincidences, or is there something that you've had to study just to be more aware of coming into this weekend based off of those?
It's definitely something I spent more time studying during the week to figure out why I sped, and whether it was because I was go back and you watch tape and it's whether you were trying to gain a position or were you just miscalculating. So it's something that I'll definitely watch out for and be way more aware of this time around, being that especially if you're in an upfront position, in a good position all day, it's very hard to rebound. So I think that we had a good enough car here in the spring to do it because it did happen early. But I definitely won't be pushing the limits very much when it comes to Sunday. Over the course of the last few months or so, I've kind of pushed it more and more and looked at the data to see where I can still gain time, but I won't be trying to find that time on pit road on Sunday. It will be out on the racetrack where I try to gain the most.
What did you find with those changes? Was it just miscalculation?
A lot of it had to do with our pit box location and where we were in the speed traps, and it was a segment where we thought that there was no way we could speed, but we underestimated braking power, acceleration power, things like that kind of threw us for a loop.
Okay, take our next question. Jim, go ahead.
Jim Utter, Charlotte Observer. Denny, I'm sure you were hoping or expecting not to be in this position in the third race of the chase, but how do you feel you and your team stack up? How does being in this position and being at Dover, is there, besides maybe Martinsville, is there a better track for you to be in this position?
Well, I'd like for it to be at a track that we've won a lot. We haven't won here ever, so but we've really turned the corner at this racetrack the last couple of years, like I talked about, and I'm really confident when we come here and race at this track. So, I mean, yeah, we definitely didn't think that we would be in this position, especially how our New Hampshire race started and where it looked like we were running. We were top 2 the entire time before we had that fueling issue. And so, you just put yourself in the top 5. Anyone that was in the top 5 there is coasting their way to the cut this weekend. So, I really feel like we've turned the corner with our race team over the last month and a half to 2 months. I mean, we're running really good, and really to say we had the speed of the 4 and the 2 and the 22 right now, I wouldn't put us right there, but I would put us right behind them. I feel like we've gained a lot over these last couple months, and it's a shame because I firmly believe if we can make this cut, then we can really make some noise from here on out, because the tracks just continually get better and better for me as we go.
Final questions for Denny? All right, Denny, congratulations on your run today, and good luck on Sunday.